All right, a little game of guess who. Quote, we are there more for the show than the racing itself.
Sounds like Nando.
Try again. Quote, I'm actually not that into it.
Ah, gotcha. It's gotta be Lando. Always the trickster.
Come on, hating on the LVGP? Last one. Quote, I'll go there and do my thing and be gone again.
That sounds like Jos Verstappen going out on a date.
That would be Max Verstappen hating on the Las Vegas GP.
What's so bad about Las Vegas? Come on, man. Drag racing through the strip. It's gonna be so cool. What time is the race? 4 or 5 p.m. local? We'll get to sit down, take it in the race, crack open a brew afterward.
The race is at 1 a.m.
Can we just break that down? What on earth is the point of having a race in the middle of the night? Is it a time zone thing in Europe?
Well, 1 a.m. in Vegas just so happens to be 9 a.m. in London.
So essentially, the Vegas GP is timed so that if you want to go out and party after the race, it'll be like 4 in the morning. That's a bummer. It's super strange that they'd have an American race timed to London hours.
Not to mention the ticket prices.
Let's check. How bad can it really be?
$500,000 to watch a race with standing room only.
Okay. Agreed. I'm really not sure what kind of fever dream you'd need to be in to purchase a single $519,000 ticket to watch a race. That's a single ticket. I feel like tickets to space might be less than that.
That's actually true. That's about what they cost, I think. Yeah, go to space. Go to space instead. I don't care.
All right. Is there anything interesting or compelling at all about LVGP?
3 takeaways that we talked about. Bumps, straights, and temps, and not that kind of bump. Relax, everybody. This is kids' content too, okay?
The track is obviously a street circuit with bumps and roughness that rivals Singapore, and we saw some pretty interesting moments, to be fair, because of that in terms of setup. Red Bull had issues with Sergio, Baby Stroll punched his trainer after he spun, and Carlos had his win, due in large part to the fact that Ferrari actually figured out how their car works for once.
And check out this quote from Alex Albon. Quote, I think in terms of racing, there's going to be a lot of overtakes because at least from what I drove, there's a lot of opportunities, a lot of places you can overtake. The straights are absolutely massive.
I mean, so Alex is essentially saying that the last corner into turn 1, there's an opportunity to follow the lead car closely and pass on the long straight. But everyone and their brother knows that the Williams is built for straight line speed.
Unlike the Williams being built for straight line scene, you have the Mercedes, which sinks like a stone to the bottom of the ocean in the straights. They were dead last in top speed at the Brazilian GP. Dead last.
Seriously, Toto and co are absolutely out to lunch at this point.
The most interesting thing is really going to be the temps. Vegas is a desert, and ironically, at 1 a.m. in the desert, it's very cold this time of year.
Colin, how cold is it going to be?
It's going to be so cold it makes Helmut Marko's nips perk up a little bit and make him seem all warm and fuzzy as a personality.
So cold, it's going to make K-Mag and Hulk's relationship look like a bromance.
So cold Nick DeVries made it back into racing. I think it's too soon for that. I think it's too soon. No, sure. I disagree. No, it's time. It's time. I think it's time. We got to be able to poke fun at Nick.
So what do we expect?
Honestly, Ferrari might be decent.
Merc might just do enough to make their fandom think 2024 isn't a write-off.
Lando's probably going to fly.
Albon's going to be in a spaceship.
Max wins.
I'm going to pull the Joker and say Charles Leclerc takes this one, buddy.
P2.
Going to go Lando.
P3.
I'm going to keep up the madness and say Lewis. How about you?
Oh, hate that last pick. Lewis in that straight. Oh my gosh.
I'm going to go
for the least original top 3 minus P3. Max, P1, shocker. Lando, P2. He loves P2, clearly. And then I think Oscar's going to have a bounce back week. P3.
Ooh.
P3. You heard it here first.
He deserves one. He had a rough couple races.
I think this race is going to end up being, frankly, an absolute disaster.
I think it might be epic because you've got the tire situation to consider. These Pirelli tires were not made to operate at these temperatures, and we're going to really see a very different car across the grid from how these drivers are driving.
Either that, or we'll see exactly what happened in Qatar, right? Qatar was the other end of the spectrum with the tires, And they had to redesign the freaking track in the middle of practice. Like, they had to cancel a practice session, I think, just to redesign the track because they were afraid that the tires were going to pop, essentially, right? Like,
Yeah.
we're just the other end of the spectrum. It's going to be too cold for these tires, and I think it's going to be a disaster.
They've already done that with like the whole pit lane thing. There's some madness about like speeds and entries and whatnot. So yeah, we'll see what happens. It might be terrible, but it could be pretty great to watch them have to deal with some madness.
I know we might get a different P1 finisher. Who knows? That could be cool, I guess.
And there you have it. Thanks for pre-gaming with us.
Be sure to upshift on the like, stomp on the subscribe, and rip the handbrake on the notification bell for more F1 content.
Over and out.
Let's go.